Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the educational background section that's in Module 4. But before we get into that, I wanted to review some of the homework that's due for February 28th or by February 28th. So we're in week 7. I did list 2 weeks on here. Last week in week 6, if you didn't complete it already, make sure that you do the work experience. And as you can see in week 6, I had the educational background version portion of the resume that was supposed to be due on the 21st. You can actually turn in the educational background section. That's actually going to be due on the 28th as opposed to the 21st. And then as you can see in week 7, we're going to continue on in the work experience and educational background. And then for the homework, educational background, and then you have your module 4 career plan project. So look in module 4 under the assignments and you'll see what's expected to be completed by the 28th for that project. Now that we've already discussed who you are, you've introduced yourself, you introduced how to get in touch with you, you've discussed the summary of your professional skills as well as your work experience. Now we're going to talk about the next section of the resume, which is the educational background section. Now, as far as the educational background section, there's a few things that you want to keep in mind. The one main thing that you want to keep in mind is that not everyone is in the exact same circumstance. You have some people that are still in school. They might be in trade school, college, or they might be in an apprenticeship. You have some people that have recently graduated from school. And then you have some people that have been graduated for many years that have educational background that's a few years older. And then you have some people that didn't go to college or go to a trade school or weren't in an apprenticeship program. They may have graduated from high school, but they haven't gone on to higher education, or they just didn't graduate at all. Now, when looking at the educational background of your resume, there's a few things that you want to make sure that you include in that portion. You want to start off with the name of the school that you've attended or you're attending, the years that you attended. If there were a degree earned, make sure that you put that in there. Make if you have a major or multiple majors, make sure you include that in there. If you have a minor or multiple minors, include that in there. If you haven't already graduated yet, but you're still in the process of graduating and you're still in school, you want to include the degree, that the degree is still in progress, and then you want to include the expected graduation date. If your GPA is impressive, and I would say impressive would probably be over 3.5, you want to include that on there. If you're a current student, you definitely want to include that on there. But if you're not a current student and you've already graduated and your GPA is impressive, like I said, you want to include that. For the newly graduating students or the students that are still in college, you want to list some of your relevant coursework. This allows you to show that you have some type of understanding of the field that you're going into. You might not have the work experience, but you do have some coursework that could show that you understand some of the terminology, or you have an idea of that field. And then last, this might go into a separate section if there's too many, but if you've received any honors or any awards, include that in there. As long as you don't want to have a long list, because if you have a long list of several honors and awards, you can just have a separate section for that. And I'll discuss that in in another video. Now, as far as tips, the first tip is if you're still in school or you recently graduated, you want to place that educational section towards the top of the list. If you've graduated 2 or more years, the educational section can go below the work experience section. And again, like I said, if you have several awards, if you've been in a bunch of extracurricular activities, you have several memberships, or any type of other recognition, or any type of other recognitions or honors, you want to include that in another subsection, which again, I'll do another video on that. And that subsection would be called the honors and awards subsection. And then the last big tip, which as you can see at the bottom of my screen, you always want to proofread each section, but just specifically for this video, make sure you're proofreading that educational background section. Here I have 4 examples of the educational background section. And in this example here, you see you have the school name, you have the major, and right here you have the relevant coursework. You don't want to just put any coursework in there. You want to make sure that whatever coursework you're putting into that resume, it fits the field that you're trying to get an opportunity in or a job in. You see here, there's some extracurricular activities. It's not too many. It just says that they had dean's list the whole semester. And then on here, this is a newly graduated high school student. You can see that they listed their GPA from high school, and that's fine if you just recently graduated, like over the past year or so. It's okay to include the high school. And you see they put their SAT score. And this here, that's good to put on here if you have an impressive score. If you didn't score, I say over 13 or 1400, it's really not necessary to put the SAT score. And you see some of the activities that they participated in high school. This example right here below, it actually has some certifications. So it's good to include any type of certifications that you received over the years in the education section. And you can see that they have an associate's degree, but they also have some certifications listed up under that. Now, here are 2 other examples of what you can put in the background section of the resume. You see they have their college that they attended, they have the city and state, they have when they graduated, they have their degree. This is a okay GPA. If you want to put it on there, it's fine. I recommend if it's over 3.5, you put the GPA on there, but this is pretty good. And then you have some of their courses that they completed, some relevant coursework. My guess is they're trying to get into a communication job or some type of media related job. And then here, this last example, you see that it's a little vague, but it does have all the pertinent information in there. It has the degree that was earned. It has the name of the college, the city and state of the college, the GPA, and this person hasn't graduated yet, but you see they have that expected graduation date. So it's always good to, if you haven't graduated and you're close to graduating, it's always good to put that expected graduation date. So those are 4 different examples, 4 different ways that you can include information in the educational background section. Again, you want to make sure that you have the basic things in there: the school name, the years attended. If you've received a degree, put that in there along with the major. And if you have some minors to go with it, make sure you put that in there. The GPA, and I recommend if it's over 3.5 and above, and any relevant coursework if you're a newly graduate, or if you haven't graduated yet. And always proofread those resumes.